Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Study with Peter. Today we are going to be looking at something very important in GPO. It's called GPO inheritance and how to control it using block inheritance and enforced GPOs. And if you ever wonder why a policy is applying when it shouldn't, or not applying when it should, then this lab is for you. So let's begin. In Active Directory, group policy follow a specific order, just like layers. And most of us already know part of that. So, but if we are really new here in the GPO world, so we have a local, we have a site, and we have a domain, and we have organization units. Most of the time, we call it LSD OU. So most of you that you are watching this video, maybe you're familiar with this. And this means that if you apply a policy at the domain level, it will automatically apply to all the users and computer underneath unless it's actually stopped. So there are two ways to control this. Is either you block inheritance, which tell the organization units to ignore everything that is actually coming from this side, from this side. Or you enforce the policy, which tell them to apply no matter what is actually coming from the site level or the domain level. So, and that is what exactly we're going to test in this lab. So let's go back. I have I'm using two machines in my environment, which I think you already have based on the last lab that we did. I have a domain controller and I have a client machine that is actually also joined to the domain controller. So we're going to create a user name block user just for our test. And also we're going to create an organization unit called IT. And we will apply these two GPOs with opposite settings to see which one actually win. So let's get started. I'll go ahead and yeah, I already launched my domain controller. I will go to users and computer, and I'm going to create the OU and the user. So to create an OU, all we have to do is right click on your domain, new, and organization unit. Then once you put your name, you'll be able to and click OK. You'll be able to create something like this, which I've already created. So this one is IT. And also, we're going to create a user inside this IT. What I did is that you can right click here, create new, and you can select user, or you can just come over here, right click, and create new user. Creating a new user is not that hard, so all we have to do is create a blocked user 01. You can call it anything in your lab, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to block user 01. Give it your favorite password. Because it's a lab, I don't want this user to change his password in the next logon. So most of the time I put password never expired. I click on next, finish, and that's done. So let's move to the part two of the lab where we are going to create the GPO. Now remember, we have created an organization unit and we have created a user. Now we move here, come to group policy management. We're going to have a tab open. Make sure you expand it so that you can see everything. And yours is just going to be looking alike. So what we are doing here is that I'm going to expand the domain so that I can see my domain, which is fine. So the first GPO what we're going to create here is called parent policy. So, and we're going to link it to this domain. So we right click on the domain, we create a GPO in this domain and link it here. I'm going to call this parent policy 01 and click on OK. Here we go. Now we are going to go ahead and edit the GPO so that we can apply the GPO rules that we want. How did I do that? Just click on, not on the domain itself, but on the GPO itself. Edit, and you come over here. Now, we want it to apply to the user. So we have to go to the user configuration. We go to policy. We're going to administrative template. So I want it to happen to the tax menu on bar. So I click on it. You can expand it. But what we are looking for here, let's make it bigger. I'm looking for remove run menu from start menu to be enabled. So once you come over, you just push first R, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Oh, it said remove favorite. No, that's not what we want. Nine. Okay, 10, 11, 12. So by the time you click on the 12 times, you're going to get it. So I think the one we want to look for, not the help menu, we're looking for the run menu. So it looks like we're still going to, okay, there we go. Remove run menu from the start menu. We're going to click on it. I mean, you can do anything you want, to be honest, as long as what we want to achieve here is that we want to create something that on the domain level and also on the organization unit level. So we are going to do enable. Remember, we are doing it on the domain level. So we click on apply, we click on OK. That's gone. So all you have to do is close it. Now, what will happen is this will hide the run option from the start menu. For example, if you're going to go to start menu, if you log in as a user and you want to type run, this is not going to be there. So let's go back to our domain controller. So since we actually link it on the domain level, it's going to affect everyone unless we block it. I mean, like everyone that is from the site. So now let's create another GPO call. I'm going to, yeah, okay, we're already there. I'm going to create a on the IT. Now, remember, this is the domain. Now, this is the organization unit. Everything, like for example, this policy that we just created, like I mentioned, it's applying to everything here. Now, I'm going to create another one here on the IT, and I'm going to link it. So I will do OU policy, OU policy 01. Okay, I'm going to practically just do the same thing. Right click on it, edit, go to the user configuration, go to policy, administrative template, then go to start menu and taskbar. Now I'm going to start looking for the run menu, uh, remove run menu, Okay, remove run menu from the start menu. Now I'm going to do disable. Remember, the first one that we create, we enable it over the domain. Now we're doing this on the organization unit and we are disabling it. Oh, you click out of that. So now we already have a conflict. Once GPO remove the run option in the parent policy, one GPO allow it on the IT. This GPO is going to allow it. This GPO is going to disable it. So now let's see the effect. So we want to stop the domain level policy from flowing down. Remember what we actually explained here. Now, what we are going to do is that we are going to block the inheritance on the IT OU. So we are going to right click on the IT OU and click on block inheritance. Immediately we do that, you're going to see a little icon, like a small shed icon, appear on the OU. So that shed means the OU is now blocking any GPO that is coming from the above, unless they are forced. So let's go ahead and test it out. Now, remember that on our domain controller in the user right here, I've actually created a block user O1. So I'm going to take that block user O1. I'm going to fire up my PC and I'm going to log in as that user. So blocked user O1. So once we actually log in as this user, you are going to see the magic because the way it's going to work is supposed to be from the, like we mentioned, coming down site, domain, organize. But since we're actually blocking what is coming from here, then we're going to see what happened to the IT right now. So you can actually zip your coffee while we are waiting for the machine to come up. And I do really appreciate that you are following this request. I do believe that practice is everything. Now that we have our machine up and running, we want to do one thing. If I go ahead and open CMD for you, if I say, who am I? It's going to say, I'm block user 01. But what I want to do right here is that I want to go ahead and run the CMD as an admin because this user does not have the does not have the permission to run this as an admin. So now I want to go ahead and type in GPU update slash force so that because we just created GPO that is actually affecting everything. So we want to make sure that it's applying because we're going to see that when we open the GPU results. Now, what we are doing here is that we're going to do the GPU result against, remember, it's against the user, which is the block user. Wow, okay. I already did that. Let me see what it's going to do right now. We're supposed to, okay, there you go. We're doing, okay, not the block user. We're doing block user 01. Now, because I already practiced this before, let me make sure that I don't have that GPO here. No. So I'm going to run it. So it's going to run that GPO for me over here. Now, what we wanted to see is that we want to go to the reports that we have. No, not that one. And we want to check. Like I mentioned, most of the time, whenever I open a GP result, I kind of collapse everything because I don't want to. I mean, I'm only checking some few stuff there. So I don't want a lot of things to be showing. So I will hide everything because where I'm going to the user configuration and I'm going to go to, I think, yeah, I'm going to settings and I'm going to go to policy, administrative settings, and I'm looking at this baby. So we can see that OU policy want to remove the run menu from the start. It's actually applying and it says, it said, it says disable. Remember, we enable it. Let me go back to the main controller. I'm going to go to a GP. We enable this here, which is a parent policy. So if yours says disable and the winning policy is the OU policy 01, then the block inheritance actually work, which is what we are saying here. If it says enable and came from the parent policy, that means that the inheritance wasn't blocked or something is actually wrong. So let's say that the admin want to force the policy no matter what. So what we have to do is that we can go back to our policy, which is a group policy, and we can right click on this policy and do enforced. So let me show you what is going to happen when you have this enforced. So now we're saying that no matter what is actually happening on the OU, it should be ignored. So I'm going to go ahead and right click on it and click enforced. Now, even though the OU is actually blocking the inheritance, like I mentioned, this is going to enforce the policy will still apply. So let's go over it again. Let me go back and show you on this. I'm going to have this open. We're going to run the same thing. I'm just going to update the group policy. That's done. And I'm going to run the group policy again. I'm going to run the group policy again for this one. Okay, that is for that user, but I'm going to change the report to be 01 and run it. So our expectation right now is that when we go to the same, when we go to the same, we should see that policy from the above actually winning here. So this is the old one. You say study with Peter, block user 01 on this PC. Now, let me go ahead and open the second one that we have changed. Most of the time, like I mentioned, I always like to hide everything. So I can go to where I really want to go to on the GPO. The same thing. Remember, this is the first one. This is the second one. I go to the user, I go to settings, I go to policy, I go to administrative template, and I'm going to go to start menu. Now you can see that it's enabled. So it works. Let's do a quick recap of what we have actually learned in this lab. We understand that GPO apply from the top to the bottom, but that can be controlled. Block inheritance actually stop the higher level GPO from affecting an organization unit. And if you enforced the GPO, that GPO is going to be always applied no matter what that is coming once you've been enforced. And by using the GP result, we can clearly see which GPO actually apply what settings. So understanding the GPO inheritance is very critical actually in troubleshooting and keeping your environment clean and predictable. So if this video actually helped you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know what kind of GPU issue you have faced, and I would love to try them in the lab. This is Peter from Study with Peter, and see you in the next one. Bye bye for now.